You're listening to the Ask Drone U podcast. You ask, we answer your drone questions. Whether you're here to turn your passion into profit or you simply fly for fun, we're a community of learners and teachers who aspire to achieve greatness. We are
Drone U.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another awesome episode of Ask Drone U. My name is Paul.
And I'm Rob, and you're listening to episode number 393. Thank you, as always, for taking time out of your day to hang with us.
Definitely, we do appreciate it. And we do appreciate all those reviews, comments, and shares. So to everyone, thank you so much. We do really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And because the new drone certification test is coming out, you know what it is. The Part 107.
Heard a little something about it.
Have you now?
Just a little.
I didn't think we had talked about it before. Anyway, it's time for another question from the Part 107 exam. Are you ready, Rob?
I am ready.
All right, you have to answer these questions.
Uh-oh. Maybe I'm not ready.
To ensure that the unmanned aircraft center of gravity limits are not exceeded, follow the aircraft loading instructions specified in is it the Aeronautical Information Manual, the Aircraft Weight and Balance Handbook, or the Pilot's Operating Handbook or UAS Flight Manual?
I have no idea. B or C?
It was the last one. Pilot Operating Handbook or UAS Flight Manual.
Cool.
It's okay. I've got one more for you. According to 14 CFR 107, what is required to operate a small unmanned aircraft during the 30 minutes after official sunset? Is it A, must be operated in a rural area, or B, they must use anti-collision lights, or C, use of a transponder?
Interesting.
Which one?
Once again, I have no idea.
Use of anti-collision lights.
Really?
Yes.
I guess that makes sense. It's getting a little dark.
You're
Lights
supposed to be able to see them from like 3 miles away.
3 miles? Wow. Cool.
But it's funny.
Well, there
'cause
we go.
You can turn down it's really weird how they mention it in the law because they say that you can like turn the brightness down too. So yeah, it doesn't quite make sense. Anyway.
Interesting. And that's only up to 30 minutes past.
Yeah. So technically, with Part 107, only daylight operations are allowed. But you can operate in civil twilight. Civil twilight is 30 minutes before sunrise and 30 minutes after sunset. But in order to do so, you have to have anti-collision lights.
And that sunset and sunrise time would be like the published time that you can find online or whatever for your area.
Yeah.
Or
you can find it at 1-800-WXBrief.com, the FAA's Before You Fly app, or you can go... Siri, what time is sunset?
Sunset will be at 8:08 p.m. today.
That's just so much easier.
So you could go to 8:38 p.m. as long as you use those lights. And if you go past that, lights doesn't matter. You're out of compliance.
You gonna die.
You can get shot.
You go get shot. FAA Spectre coming after you.
That's right.
I'm kidding. They will not do that. So
Absolutely not. Anyways.
Please don't take our sarcasm as reality because it is not so. We're not running for president, we promise.
No, if we were running for president, we could act a lot crazier than we act, actually. And apparently
Liar!
that would get
Liar!
What is
crooked?
What is
liar?
Everywhere that Trump refers to Hillary, it's crooked Hillary.
Yeah.
Those people are nuts. They're all nuts. I tell you what.
Man.
Anyways,
go Gary Johnson.
It's entertaining. What'd you say?
I said go Gary Johnson.
Yeah, no kidding. We don't care if you're stoned.
Right. Oh, man. I actually had an Army vet who was like, hey, I heard you met with Gary last week. I was like, oh, yeah, I did. He goes, did you smoke with him?
Oh, God, that's
like,
the natural question.
Really?
I mean, he went to the top of Mount Everest, so why not ask? Did you go hiking with him?
How high have you walked?
Yeah,
in his shoes?
or I don't know. Everybody loves the stoner question, though.
It's just, you know what? I would rather make fun of the fact of that because, there's a very polarizing ideology on that. I would rather make fun of that than anything else that's going on in this stupid election.
Absolutely.
So
you're absolutely right. And by the way, we're rambling. And a lot of times people get on us for rambling. Did you know
let's
that?
stop.
So
Question.
anyways, we do have a question.
Play the question.
Well, really quick, by the way, if you have a question, askdroneu.com. Check it out. Ask your question. I know I say this over and over again, but we just want you to know if you're thinking something, somebody else is as well.
Hi there, Paul and Rob. This is Tim from Victoria, British Columbia. And today I have a question about filming and photography of a property. I have a client that on occasion will send me out to a property and I'll do the video with my DJI 4K. And I'm getting some terrific results using the 16ND filter. And my question is do you, if you're doing both the filming and the photography, do you then land your drone, take off your ND filter, and then take off, perhaps you go to a 0 ND filter and then go back up in the air and then do the photography? That's sort of what I'm asking, because right now I've tried it both ways, and to my eye, it looks quite a bit better if I have no ND filter, but of course the shutter speed is going to shoot right up. And your thoughts on this would be greatly appreciated. I'm new to this part of the world of photography, videography with drones and ND filters, and your expert advice would be greatly appreciated. Cheers from British Columbia.
Right up your alley, Paul. First, I just want to say we were just in Victoria, British Columbia. Beautiful place. I'm envious that that's where he hangs out.
That's very cool.
It's really an amazing place. So awesome for you, Tim.
Yes. So I would say to the untrained eye, you will always get a better shot, quote unquote, subjectively, without an ND filter. But if you are a photographer and learning to become a professional photographer, you'll find that shooting in ND or with an ND filter is going to make the image look darker. That is actually a good thing. You're going to have a lot more definition in your colors, kind of bring up the saturation a little bit. Your shadows are going to be a little dark. So when you're editing this photo, what you really want to do is bring the shadows up. So when I'm doing this, which, by the way, Vic Moss goes over this in our photography class. He's actually filming another one here on August 10th. But on that webinar that's on the Drone U community page, he talks about making a new layer with a duplicate image, and then taking the levels of that layer, so it's Control M or Command M, and then adjusting the levels ever so slightly up, just in the highlighted areas. So where it's really bright and dark, you would actually use the mask tool to then lighten it back up. So, or vice versa. So again, if we're in Photoshop, we're going to take our image, Command A, Command C, Command V, Command M, and then we're going to pull those shadows up by moving our levels up. And then because we moved all of our other levels up, the areas that are super, super light, so I did say this wrong before, the areas that are super, super light, we want to take the mask tool, which is our brush, and then we want to make sure that the color of our brush is black. So we've got the mask on, and then all we're going to do is darken those areas that were too light because we brought the shadows up. So that'll take our lighter areas back to normal, and our darker areas that were the shadows of that image before are now going to be lighter. So you'll have a little bit more definition in those areas, but you'll also have a little bit more contrast. Now, there is a little trick here with using ND filters. Just like your sunglasses, there's a point when the sun goes down beyond the horizon. It's actually easier to see with your sunglasses off. And I don't know what point that is for you, Rob, but normally for me, it's, literally right after the sun goes down. So if the sun has actually gone down, you're probably going to want to take the ND filter off, because ND filters are normally best used in maximum sunlight conditions.
Just be too dark at that point.
Yeah. Also, you may want to try stepping down your ND filter towards sunset. So if we're, like 10 minutes before sunset, probably going to want to step that down to an ND4. So, yeah. Cool.
So one of the other things that Tim was getting at, and I think he would really like your advice on, or at least an understanding of how your workflow is, if you're at a site and you're doing video and photography, how are you managing your ND filters? You're just having to land and change it out, right?
Pretty much, yes. But now I do use two separate drones, one for photos and one for video. I love the video out of the Inspire, but I love the photos out of the Phantom 4. And normally I can bust out all the photos I need in a battery. So I've been changing.
So Tim, we just gave you permission to buy another drone.
That is true.
There you go.
Which normally, by the way, I'm shooting right around sunset, so I don't have a filter on it. And yeah, so I've just kind of gone to the point where we try not to do as many aerial photos during the day as possible. They're all like right around golden hour.
Right. So sunset or sunrise, either one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just gets so much better color, contrast. The lighting is always better, So, if you want really killer footage for your demo reel or you want to take killer photos, just tell yourself, I am not going to shoot unless it's an hour near sunrise or sunset.
Right.
Period.
Just make that your rule of thumb.
Yep.
Which, of course, you build into the conversation with the people you're working for, and they'll understand. I mean, you're the expert.
True.
I don't think it'll matter to them.
Nope.
Cool. Well, there you go. Tim, hopefully that's helpful. And if not, or if it's not helpful enough, send us another question, and we'll do a follow-up and make sure that we get your question answered in its entirety in terms of what you're needing and thinking.
It's funny. I was once there in this same position that this guy was in. I totally understand why he thinks that, just a regular automatic no ND filter shot versus an automatic with ND filter shot, why they look the way that they do. But I will tell you, as soon as you learn editing, you'll totally understand it, and you'll be like, oh, wow, that's why. So again, Vic Moss, our photography teacher here at Drone U, he has a webinar on the Drone U community explaining editing techniques and explaining this actual very thing.
Right.
So I recommend, if you want to learn how to do that, become a member, check it out. It's totally worth it.
And he's going to go even much deeper in the one he's about to record.
That's true.
So that one's
Yep.
going to be really good.
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Anyway, well, guys, if this podcast has helped you out, please leave a review, share it with a friend, do something cool, ask a question at askdroneu.com. If you want more 107 or part 107 questions, check us out on Instagram at the Drone U. But that's going to do it for us today. So my name is Paul.
I'm Rob.
This is Ask Drone U.